Greetings, everyone. I am Calvin Harris, Interim Director of Student Activities here at Hampton University, and welcome to night 2 of our BluePrint, Building a Successful #1 Student Experience in America here at Hampton University. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the next step, residence life and housing, and we're blessed to have the director, Ms.Shawneequa James, here with us this evening. So she's going to answer some questions as well as deliver some information pertaining to housing. And then at 7 p.m., please join us as we'll have Chief Glover from the Hampton University Police Department with us. We do ask that everyone keep their phones on mute. After Ms. James and I present some information to you, we will open the floor up for a few live questions. We do have Ms. Bell working behind the scenes doing technical support. So sometimes when you're putting questions into the chat, they will get overlooked. So if you all could just please hold off and hold all questions to the end so that we can make sure that your question gets answered in a timely manner, we'll totally appreciate it. So you ready?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So Ms. James, here we are about to start the school year. We have our new Hamptonians that are about to arrive to their new home by the sea. Can you tell us a little bit about residence life, where you're located, hours of operation?
Yeah, so we are located on the 2nd floor of the Student Center. Okay. Our hours are 8 to 5. And we are kind of definitely busy during those times. We're a small office, but we serve a large population. So if you ever call, we may be on the phone assisting other parents, other students. So we just bear with us during our small office. But what's the other question? Hours operation. I think I mentioned all that. Sorry, but yeah, and that's just that's our main office.
Okay. All right, great. So we had Ms. White here from Freshman Studies on yesterday, and she released some exciting information. And we are proud to announce to those that weren't here last night, but we hear that there's over 1,300 freshmen coming. Like, you alongside with admissions have been doing a great job of getting our students here at Hampton and housing. So can you just explain to the students and families how the freshman housing is looking as far as what facilities we have and some of the features that we have in our building this year?
So we have, I know right now we have about 3 residence halls for males and I think 6 or 7 females. Wow. So that means our population is more heavily female than male. And so with that, of course, there's some changes on our end, but and also too, we are kind of sprucing up our residence hall. So I don't want to share too much, but we do have some new things in some of our freshman residence halls to appeal to our freshman students.
Great.
And then of course, what was that?
That's what.
Yeah. I want to make sure I answer all questions.
Yeah. And then lastly, I know last night we did have a couple of questions in reference to the staffing and how residence life, or how are freshmen taken care of in their residence halls. So can you describe what your staff looks like within the buildings?
Right. So I'm going to start from the bottom. So we have RAs, we have a graduate assistant, and then we have residence hall director. And so we have the RAs, they live on the floors with the students, and then our GA, they are positioned on a floor, sometimes on the 1st floor, kind of with the residence hall director. And so that's our staffing, and that kind of ties into how we assist the students as well. And so if a student was to have an issue in their residence hall, like for example, roommate issue or even maintenance, our protocol is to let your RA know. And then if the RA doesn't do what they're supposed to do, go to the graduate assistant. And if you can't get any leeway with the graduate assistant, you go to the residence hall director. If you can't meet anybody, if nobody can help you on those 3 levels, then you come to housing, and then that's when I get involved. But we have those people set on the ground level to assist right there.
Okay, great. So I know in my Department of Student Activities, we are heavily engaging students, so to speak, and trying to make sure that we have something for everybody. But a lot of students prefer to remain in their residence halls. So do you all offer any type of residence hall programming
Yes.
requirements on a monthly basis or
Mhm.
anything?
Yes, so I do require from my staff to put on programming, so they have passive program, which is like a bulletin board, interactive, or just some information, and then we also have programs where our students come. And for example, like last year, I really wanted to do Wellness Wednesdays, and we started that, and that's just something to where it presented us, for a safe space for our students to come and talk about their mental health.
Okay.
And then also too, like some type of programs to assist with life skills. So like one of my ideas that I want my resident hall directors to do is to kind of teach some of our students how to clean. And, sometimes our students don't know how to clean. So if they come here and kind of learn that life skill, that can be applied to them, as they move forward through, the residence hall life. And then when they leave Hampton as well, and just other programs that kind of cater to the student. So that is those type of programs that my resident hall directors and resident assistants.
I remember last year you all were doing cookouts at the residence
Yes,
hall.
cookouts.
I thought one was really cute. I saw one residence hall did like a slumber party in the lobby. I think it was a female dorm.
Yeah, and then also we had like a yoga, on Whitehall,
yoga.
we had a yoga event outside on the lawn.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So that's pretty much it for residence life. We are definitely growing, as you mentioned, and we heard on yesterday. So that Ms. Bell can go ahead and post this information. Can you just, before we get to the questions, can you release the contact information? Yeah, contact information for his email, telephone number, and if any information might be on the website pertaining to the house.
Okay, yeah, that ties me into the comment that I want to share.
Okay.
So our main information for email is housing@hamptonu.edu. Our phone line is 757-727-5486. Now we do have some information on the website as far as what to bring when when your students come. And so some things that we have added, some additions that now students are able to bring a refrigerator with them. And we try to make sure that I kind of put a size limit on it because students have to share their room. So we don't want to take up too much space. So about I think it's 3.1 or 3.2 cubic square feet. And then also, don't bring microwaves, hot pots, none of that. Cause our resident hall director will say, we'll kindly take it from you and hold it until, they leave for the winter break. And then also to just something I just want to share, people see on TikTok, social media, how to spruce up their residence hall room. We politely ask to not bring any wallpaper to put on the wall because when you take it off in May and it rips the wallpaper, the student would be charged.
Okay.
So,
all right. So everybody understand that no wallpaper, none of that type of stuff.
Yes.
Also, I guess when we talk about moving day, because August 18th and 19th is quickly approaching. Two things: schedule. Has that communication been posted as to what the move-in process will look like?
Yes.
Or what they should
follow?
I
actually about 15 minutes ago sent the email to all freshman students who have a housing assignment. It was sent to their Hampton email of the move-in schedule, their dates and times. And we also say that, please adhere to those move-in times because, we want to make sure each student has a seamless process. So please try not to arrive early. And we may not be able to accommodate you if you need to come a day early or such because we just want to make sure everyone has a seamless process.
Okay, right. And yes, that good thing that you mentioned the email. Ms. White did share with us last night. Parents, please keep in mind that even though when your students are applying, that you might be providing an email address on some forms and their personal email address, but all information is going to your student's Hampton University email. So you really have to rely on your student to kind of check their email and share the information to you. But really, we do not have information pertaining to housing, tuition, and things, billing going directly to the parents. Everything is going directly to the student. And then last thing before we get to the questions, move-in day. Everybody's so eager to come. We must remind students about you are sharing a room. It is limited space. So you cannot bring your whole home
Right.
here on campus. Oftentimes we see these U-Haul trucks coming and people bringing futons and things. And unfortunately, those are the same items that they brought that they have to take back because there's not space. So do you have any type of helpful hints as to what they What are some things that they should bring? Like the tote bins,
Yeah, like some,
enough to fit on one side of
yeah,
the room?
yes, enough to fit on one side. And I would say even too, if something to be just a little helpful in the communication I sent today, it provides the roommates information. So maybe if the students can communicate with each other to say, hey, I'll bring this and we, bring this, so that way they can really maximize the space. Of course, sometimes we may not want to share and but just to maximize the space, we can maybe kind of, students can probably do that just to kind of make it a little bit more helpful.
All right, good. So you ready to answer some questions?
Yes, just don't hit me too hard.
All right, everyone. So right now, Ms. James has shared some just general housing information with you. We're going to open up the line for questions. We are asking that all questions be general questions. If you have a personal situation that pertains to you, your student, or if you are the student, it pertains to you directly, we do ask that you contact the Office of Residence Life on the back end, because we just want to be able to answer general questions, and due to some legal things, we can't answer your personal thing because we don't have resources right here.
And I will say the best and quickest way to get a response is email. I know a lot of people want to call, but just like I shared, we are a small staff office. And so if more than 2 people call, somebody you may not be able to get through because we're on the line. So if you want a quick response, I would suggest just sending an email.
Okay.
And trying to be as detailed as possible. But the student will need to send the email.
Okay. All right, so let's go.
Alrighty.
All right, the first one, I can't see her name, but she has on
Dr. Horton.
Dr. Horton.
Hello, good evening. Thank y'all for doing this again tonight.
Right,
And,
you were up here last night, weren't you?
I was, yes, because I had
Okay,
lots of
great.
questions. Yes. But my primary question is, my daughter met her friend as soon as college announcement day hit. And I know you said not personal questions, but I imagine somebody else might have the same question. Her dorm assignment, roommate assignment does not match her request. And they have been diligently trying to make sure that they can be roommates. And even today's email came in with a different roommate. Is there any way to make roommate adjustments prior to the start of school?
Not at this time. We did have a room exchange process at the beginning of this month, and we encourage students to participate in that. So at this time, we can't.
We did.
Yes, ma'am.
We tried to. That's what I'm saying. Like, they have followed everything. They've done all the emails. They did the room policy thing. It was blocked. It was, so.
Yeah. So, and to the room exchange process, it's student based. So if they wanted to request a roommate swap, the other student has to approve it. So if the student didn't approve, then that's probably why the swap didn't happen.
Correct, because the person that she's assigned to is not attending school. So she reached out to her, and I apologize for kind of going on, but we've done all the calling, we've done all the emails, and so it's becoming a stress issue for us now. So the person she's currently assigned to is not even attending Hampton, and she was told that they couldn't go through the process for roommate exchange because she was still in the system. So she had to be taken out of the system. We asked the question, when is that going to happen? Nobody could give an answer. So she missed the whole process because there was no way to, we just need a solution, hopefully that can work for them.
Yeah, so if you could send me an email, so that way we'll hold up the time, and then I can try to communicate with you tomorrow, because it's a little bit more that I want to kind of just share with you.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, so when you send that email, you just mention tonight's conversation, your student's name and HUID number, so that Ms. James will be able to at least pull up the file and research some things prior to contacting you to make that conversation smooth, okay? But thank you for joining us again. The next one is an A.
Asia Webb.
Miss Asia Webb.
Yes, I had a question about housing. Could I ask questions about like off-campus housing, like questions towards like the Harbor apartments?
We may be able to answer. What's your question? Let's just try.
Okay.
We're in our lane,
Right.
but let's just try.
Okay, because I remember I got an email from housing, and they said to choose a roommate, and me and the roommates already discussed who's going to be with who, but we haven't gotten an email next about like moving date and billing. Supposedly for like the rent, I believe you can either pay 6 months in advance or I believe each month, but I just need more details of like how much and like where do I pay that at?
First, may I ask a question? Are you a incoming freshman?
No, I'm a junior, but I'm transferring
Oh.
as a junior, so
Oh.
I'm a little clueless of
Okay.
Yeah, so
everything
that
right now.
that communication to anybody who's assigned to the harbors is forthcoming. You can just give us a little bit more patience. That is in the works, so just give us a little bit more time.
Okay, that's
Mhm.
great. Thank you guys.
You're welcome. Janella?
Hi, I just had a question about the time. I'm coming from California, and so my flight, the day of the move-in comes in at 9:05, but my daughter's time is like 9 o'clock. So I noticed we have to adhere to the time. So if we don't get to campus till like, I don't know, 9:30 or 9:45, will we miss that window of opportunity to move in or obtain her dorm key? Because we don't come in until 9:05.
Early.
Yeah, I don't think you should, because your time is 9 o'clock, I think you may be okay. I think we're just trying to make sure no one moves in or try to get to the residence hall prior to.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I was just worried about the time because I'm like, we had a connecting flight.
Flight information, yes, ma'am.
And one thing about it, people plan accordingly. They are adhering to the schedule, but in the Hampton Roads area around our university, there's a lot of traffic.
Mhm.
The HRBT tunnel is under construction, so we do expect some delays, and that is another reason why we're asking people to adhere to their time
Mhm.
so they can get there. But we do have a lovely shopping center at the front, so if you do come a little early, you can stop by Starbucks, get you a little coffee and a croissant, and wait a little while. But yeah, that's another reason why we're just trying to make this move in this year as seamless, stress-free as possible, so that everybody can enjoy their families and stuff like that. But as long as you are not ahead of your time, you should not have a problem.
Okay, great. I was concerned because we're going to be late after our time.
It's understandable. Thank you so much. Amia, she's back.
Yes, I am back. How are you?
All right, how are you?
Good. Okay, I have three small questions, but I think they'd be really valuable for this discussion. So I'm just going to start off with my first one. First, I wanted to ask of how the shipping process to the dorms, how is that? Can you please explain the process of shipping to our dorms in case we want some things that just can't go in the car if I take a flight? How does that work?
So before you answer, so last night we did have this question and it was kind of explained to kind of time it because the warehouse will not accept before move-in day. So they need to time it so that it arrives after their arrival.
And
correct?
I did put that in the communication
Okay,
this
so now you can
afternoon.
explain to make sure, but we kind of, Ms. White touched on it last night briefly,
Mhm.
as well as myself. So if you could just explain that.
Right,
to
and
us.
so the mailing process is that, if we're just speaking about packages, it comes to the university and depending on what type of package, it'll go to the warehouse or it'll go to our mailing facility and they will sort it. And if it's at the warehouse, the students will receive a pink slip and they will have to go pick up the package from the warehouse. If it comes through our mailing facility, once it's sorted there, it comes to the residence hall and the residence hall director and the graduate assistant sorts it out and they would notify the student that they have a package or mail.
Okay, because I was wondering if there's any like specific name that you had to put it under, or any type of specific thing for like shipping it to your dorm, things of
So
that sort.
in the email I sent today, it has that mailing information because we have been getting calls and emails. So I said, let me add it to the communication. So all of that is in that email I sent this evening.
Great, thank you. Okay, my next one. This one was kind of like an ad hoc question, but I know this is different for every college. So for me, I'm thinking of bringing my older cousins with me and their boys, and I wanted to know, would they be able to help me move into my just putting in things within the dorm, or is it just like no, all girls, no boys? Are the boys able to come and help prepare my room?
Absolutely, because we will have students of all genders assisting all students with moving on those 2 days.
Great. Okay, because I heard All right, thank you. I heard for other HBCUs, they kind of like cut it off. So I was like, please, I hope my cousins can help me. All
Boy,
right.
you got to
Right,
get you
exactly,
in.
that part.
We welcome all strengths.
Yes.
We welcome.
Exactly.
Okay, great question though.
All right, last one is, can we bring a television to stay in our dorm room?
Absolutely. Now, my only thing
Okay.
is, if you like, that's something that where I would say, maybe talk to your roommate to see who would want to bring it. I know sometimes, I know when I was in college, me and my best friend actually shared a room my freshman year, so we shared our TV. But some students may want to watch something differently. But if you all kind of come to that relationship, to where you all can have like a big TV or something, that way it won't take up too much space, so you both can share it. But absolutely, definitely you can bring your TV. The only thing is you won't be able to mount it to the wall, but you can definitely bring the TV.
All right, well, thank you so much for your help today.
I think that, I apologize if I pronounce wrong. Yamila?
Yamila, yes.
Hello.
I have a question. So if we're staying in McGrew Towers, will there be upperclassmen in there, or is it all freshmen this year?
So at this time, there are continuing students on the 9th floor only. So but there are freshmen and on the first floor as well. But 2 through 7 are all freshmen.
Okay, now would that operate still like a freshman dorm, like how they have different
Yes.
freshman activities for
Yes.
those?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, another thing is the portal is closed for housing, so we're not able to see our roommate. Do you know when that will open back up?
So the housing portal is closed, but I just sent that communication to the students this evening, about probably now 30 minutes ago. So they have the roommate information in their room number.
Okay, and last question. I heard through the grapevine that there will be new furniture in McGrew. Is that yes or no?
Ooh, you heard it. Who told you that? But yes, ma'am, McGrew Towers is one of our residence halls that got new furniture, and it looks really beautiful. I saw it myself and I said, "Oh, this is nice."
So it's not that dark red anymore.
No, ma'am, they have some
What color is it? Can you let the cat out the bag?
Nice wood furniture. It's so pretty. They're gonna love it.
Ooh, that makes us feel better. Okay, great.
And there's
Thank you.
some painting in there too, so it's gonna be nice.
Okay, now the McGrew Towers, is it like suite, like 4, like 2 in the bathroom, or is it community bathrooms here?
So if your daughter, when your daughter sees her communication, it lists a few students because it's a McGrew is a quad. So those select few students will use that quad bathroom.
Okay,
Mhm.
perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, we can't see.
Oh, no,
See her picture.
Michaela Gross.
Michaela Gross or Michaela.
Hi,
Hi.
it's Miracle. I'm an incoming freshman. I have 2 questions. So, as you mentioned earlier, I imagine that on moving day, there's lots of large vehicles and U-Hauls. So, we were wondering what the process is for parking and where should families park to make the unloading process most feasible?
That is actually HUPD.
Right.
They will be able to answer that question at 7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock, Chief Glover will be on, and he's gonna also talk about the parking for residents move-in day of the 18th and 19th. You will be able to get close to the residence halls, but depending on certain vehicles, you might have to unload and move the vehicle quickly to take up, because it may take up too much space.
Right.
But Chief Glover is sending out, we'll be presenting that information at 7.
And if I could just interject too, as we stated, we have about 1,300 freshmen coming. And so if you divide that by 2, just to say that, that's a lot of people coming on Friday and Saturday. And so that's why we would definitely, our desire and our hope is that you all just unload and then move your car for the next group of people to come in. Because, our campus is not that big. So we want to make sure, like Mr. Harris said, you get you close to the door to at least unload and then move your car.
But we pretty much have a lot of grassed areas and parking lots that they're relocating cars to. But that is why we do have the Greeks here, the student leadership, SRT. So it's plenty of Hamptonians here that are helping freshman families move products from the car, parking lots to the building. So we definitely have those helping hands. Another thing also, everybody travels with their family. I know some people do come multiple cars. If that second vehicle is not housing any of the moving stuff, they might just ask you to park that away from the residence hall, and you all will probably have to walk to the residence hall to meet your family. So it's those little logistical things that HUPD will be working through during the time of moving. But thank you. That's a good question, though. Did you have another?
Thank you. Yes. What furniture is included in the dorms? Like, you can answer generally, specifically Twitchell Hall, just so we can avoid buying double of things such as mirrors or brooms or whatever comes with the room.
You said broom? Did you say broom?
Mirrors.
Did you say broom too?
Yes, I know the pre-college students were mentioning that they had like dustpans and brooms in there already.
I do believe, now please don't quote me, but I do believe that it comes with the broom and dustpan, but all rooms come with the bed, dresser, and a wardrobe and a desk. I believe Twitchell, I don't want to say because I'm probably mixing residence halls. We have about 22 residence halls that I manage. So I don't want to mix residence halls, but I think Twitchell has a mirror in there, but still, some of our ladies, we want that full length mirror. So I would say definitely go ahead, let them go ahead and bring it. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Arkisha,
Hi, good evening.
good evening.
So I hope my questions are quick. One, with the cleaning, are the rooms that are like suites where they share a bathroom or two room share, the students are responsible for cleaning those, is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am. And that's for VC suites and James Hall suites. Students are expected and required to clean their own bathrooms. Housekeeping does not go into the bathrooms that are in the room.
Okay, got it. Thank you. And then my other two questions is one, since you mentioned mine is James Hall, will that be completely done by the time that moving, like will the renovations be ready for everybody to move in? And then my second question to that is, I know you mentioned the refrigerators. Can each student have a refrigerator there, or are they only allowed to have one per room?
So James Hall did not have renovations this summer. So there's no renovations affected to James Hall. If anyone's housing got affected in James, they received an email. And then they also got the same email again today with their housing assignment. Also both students can bring a refrigerator, but still that's why I said we want to make sure we keep it to at least that 3.0 size, because the residence hall rooms are not that big. So we don't want to, we want to make sure each student kind of at least try to have the same amount of room space. So.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Miss Lucy.
Hey, good evening again.
Welcome back.
Thank you. My question is, my daughter, when we chose her housing back in May, Stone Tower was a freshman dorm, and then she just kind of got an email saying that she was being moved to McGrew. So Stone's original move-in date was on that Friday, the 18th. So we made travel arrangements to come down Friday. So we basically still have to wait till Saturday because she's on the 5th floor of McGrew. And I think that 5th floor moves in on Saturday.
I think that is right. So unfortunately, yes, ma'am. I definitely understand, how you were assigned originally. But at this point, yes, ma'am. But you know what? Can you send me that in the email? I don't want to give you wrong information, but I also don't want to give you false hope. So if you can just kind of put that in the email, that exact question, and send it to housing. And I would say I checked the housing email as well. So I don't want you to say, Ms. James told me to send the email to housing. She didn't see it. I checked the housing email as well. So just send that to me in the housing email, and let me do a little bit more research on that one. But like I said, I don't want to give you false hope and say no or yes.
Okay, thank you. And also my question is, in McGrew, the restrooms that are shared between the suites, the rooms, should the girls did you say they don't have to clean those, or they do have to clean those, or
So in
should they?
McGrew, they are quad bathrooms and they're technically, what's the word I want to say? They are technically like communal bathrooms. So we have housekeeping that will clean those bathrooms, but we still want our students to kind of clean up after themselves, because we don't want anyone kind of coming in and cleaning up behind them. If they know, if they can clean up behind themselves, it will make the housekeeping job a little bit more easier.
So I guess I was asking, like, can they like store like their hair dryers and toothbrushes and stuff like that in there, or should they bring it back and forth to the room?
Yes, ma'am, they should bring it back and forth to the room.
Okay, so they won't need shower curtains or rugs or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't see her name.
Kendall Chavez.
Kendall,
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
yes, welcome.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. So I had two questions. One, my son is going to be in Harkness Hall. And I was wondering, is there any storage in Harkness for like smaller items, say like a suitcase for them to use, when they're coming home for the holidays? Not large items, obviously, but just smaller items.
Yeah, in Harkness, they have like kind of they have like, they won't have wardrobes because I think Harkness has closets kind of built into the wall. And in there's like a shelf that they could probably put their suitcase in, but they'll be able to kind of maneuver their closet areas to kind of keep their items in.
Okay, so there's no separate like storage area anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and have all the rooms in Harkness been renovated or updated?
So no,
Because,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh no, because the video online looks different from some pictures that folks have posted on the parent Facebook page. So I was wondering if all the rooms look like are renovated.
So there were no renovations done to the rooms in Harkness, only the bathrooms. So I don't know I don't know what pictures you may see. It may could have been somebody just kind of decorated their room a certain way. But there were no renovations done to the rooms, only the bathrooms.
Okay, so the video that's of the rooms in Harkness, the video that's on YouTube, that is how all the rooms look. Is that correct?
I can't remember what the video looks like. It's been a while since I personally looked at it. But as far as I know, that's how, yes, ma'am, that's how it looks.
Okay. My other question is about the Wi-Fi, because I heard from some students that were in pre-college that the Wi-Fi was spotty. And so I was wondering, like we were thinking about sending a printer with my son. I mean, if people are bringing TVs, just in an effort to kind of like not overwhelm the system. Are they allowed to bring hotspots? Are they allowed to have their own routers? Like, what's the situation with the Wi-Fi?
Unfortunately, they cannot bring their own router. I really can't touch on the Wi-Fi because of course that is not our area, but I do know just from a little bit of kind of what I know, I think the Wi-Fi could be kind of spotty only because people are pulling, these people are gaming, streaming. So that pulls from, I think they call it the bandwidth. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. So yeah, I know that they are working on the IT. The IT is working on the Wi-Fi, but I just can't touch on that because that's not my area of expertise.
Yeah, and President Williams started the initiative this past year to increase the Wi-Fi. We did lose our initial director of technology, but we just received a new director of technology last week. I believe he came to the university. So I'm pretty sure that is the top part because it was part of the student town hall request to kind of move forward. But now that we have a new director of technology in that division, I'm pretty sure that they will move quicker. But yes, that issue of the Wi-Fi at certain points has been identified.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to send an email. Okay. And I'm going to send an email tomorrow and like with a link of the YouTube video for the Harkness rooms. I think a lot of parents are probably wondering about this because the video on YouTube, again, looks different from a video and pictures that were shared more recently. So it would
And-
be helpful to know what the rooms, if the YouTube video is how they look.
And if you are able to share the video, the pictures that were posted, so that we could do a comparison, because
Right.
somebody might have took a picture and said it was Harkness, but it might not be Harkness.
Right.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
You could just
Thank
send
you.
both video and the picture to see if we can kind of compare and
Mhm.
contrast, because we don't know what they actually sent.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Next person.
Rhonda Bellinger.
Ms. Rhonda Bellinger.
Good evening.
Hello.
My question is, what's the best way to find out room dimensions?
Oh,
That's a great question. Now I would say I haven't been here that long. So, I think, you may have some old information as far as the dimensions of the rooms, but I will have to look and see where that information is. So we may or may not have that information.
Ms. Bellinger, did you send me an email yesterday?
I did.
I think that's the one I forwarded to you this afternoon. Yeah, I thought about it afterwards. I also sent that to Mr. Hardy and Mr.
They
Corbett,
may know, yeah, they may know
because you
that.
did put your room number in there. So I think facilities might have to look at the actual floor plan of the building after I sent you that.
Mhm.
But yes, I did receive your email. I think I copied you on the response to Ms. James, but we just have to do a little bit more information, okay?
Okay, that's great.
We'll
And
try-
did Kennedy Hall get new furniture by chance?
I do not think so.
Okay,
Actually, they didn't.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Diane Watkins.
Diane Watkins.
Hi, thank you. So for the students who are in the different fall activities that move in August 1st, I just want to confirm that once they move in August 1st, that they are able to stay for the duration. And for those who have roommates, are the roommates still, well, they both be moving in, but maybe this will help someone else. Are the roommates able to, if there's already someone occupying the room, does that affect when their move-in date? And then also, and I'm asking these questions because I don't know about any other of those sports or camps, but I haven't gotten any information from the sport itself. So even though I've inquired, if they do have to, if it is not for the duration, do we still come back? Or even if it is for the duration, is there something that they still have to do? Are they going to be able to stay in the same room for when they report on August 1st as they would for the fall semester? Because that has to be clarified even.
Right, so that is another communication that we are working on. We have been working on a lot of communication. So like I tell people, we can just kind of, talk to different groups at one time, but all communication will be sent out this week. I want to say that, but anybody who has been approved to come early, when they come early, they will be here until they leave for Thanksgiving.
So they are moving into their permanent housing space.
So I don't want to say too much because it's
Okay.
going to be all in the communication.
Okay.
And so that's all I can say right now, but everything will be in the communication. But just to answer your question, when they come here August 1st, they are here to stay until they leave for Christmas break. Is that right? Did they leave just Christmas break? We don't have fall break.
Okay, so will that communication also include that, from what I'm hearing, if by chance there may be a chance they aren't in their fall dorm, will they be assisted in that move? Because that would also determine what we send.
Absolutely. Yes.
And with folks coming from across the country,
Yes. Absolutely.
next week is a little late when they're supposed to be there next week.
Mhm.
So yes, assistance will be provided to those when needed. All right, thank you so much. Next. Kristen Johnson.
Hi. So
Hello.
I have two questions. So are we allowed to have bed risers for our bed?
Yes, just no cement. We have some people that
Okay.
have cement blocks. Please don't bring those.
Okay, and my second question is what kitchen appliances there are in Kennedy?
So I don't know, Kennedy does not have a kitchen area.
Okay.
And I would say, speaking of that, please don't bring any air fryers. That's another thing that's, it's not allowed, air fryers.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cynthia Pierce.
Hi, my question was similar. I think it was Diane who spoke earlier because my daughter is coming in August 1st or scheduled for the August 1st band camp. So I was concerned about all the details and logistics as far as getting her keys and being able to be in the room that she will be in for the fall semester. So I think you've answered that question, but would that communication or would that be included in the communication that you just sent out, or we should be expecting this week? Because we're traveling a good distance. We're coming from Ohio, and we just want to make sure that she's secured and in her permanent location, and she will also have the support to help move her in, and all the details for accessing her key.
Yes, so that would be a separate communication that anybody who's approved to come, August 1st, we have a lot of groups that are coming early, but August 1st is our first group. All of that communication will be there. So I will just say this, anybody, if they are not assigned to their permanent assignment, they will be held temporarily in a space, and we will have assistants ready for them to assist. And also anybody who wants to come back and assist their child, they will have that ability to do so as well.
Okay, and just an addendum, we did follow up with the band director, and they said it was a cooperative, situation between them and the residence hall. So, oh my God, I had a fleeting thought here, but just to confirm, should I follow up with the band or the residence hall? I know each group were telling me to go to the other one. I just want to make sure we get it squared away. So who should I follow up with to make sure that her band situation is cleared up in her housing?
That would be us, but just letting you know that communication is forthcoming. I'm going to try my best to actually get that out tomorrow, because I know August 1st is next week. I wanted to get it out today, but of course, we're editing the communication to make sure it says exactly what it needs to say. All questions are answered. So my goal is to have that out tomorrow. So again, that will be going to all students, Hampton University email address.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Shannon.
Did we say somebody?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, let's go Shannon, then Alicia. Shannon. Alicia K.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, my name is Alicia, and I had a question in regards to the McGrew Tower bathrooms. So you mentioned how they're basically like community bathrooms. So I wanted to know exactly like how many girls would be sharing that bathroom, or how many rooms on that separate floor.
Right, so in the communication sent to the students today, it lists all of their, it's not a suite mate, but their quad mate. And those are the students that will be sharing that bathroom.
Okay.
My next question is, I was on the video yesterday.
Sorry, can you come closer to the mic? We can hardly hear you.
I was on the video yesterday, and I understand that you guys send all your communication through the students. And I think, well, so as far as like, I had a daughter that graduated from college, and on campus there was a tragedy. And the way parents were able to be notified was through strings of calls through students, and the amount of time it took for a resident director, an RA, or actually, campus police to reach the parents was, there was room for improvement there. So I just want to make sure, so I guess later on the segment, they'll probably address that. You're thinking like in the next segment, they'll go over that kind of thing, even though it's kind of a housing question as well. Like,
so we do have, and Chief Glover be here. He's going to talk about our Hampton University Live Safe app.
Okay.
app that parents, you can download on your phone. We have it on our phone, and it is instant. You will be able to look at crime rates, any type of activity on the campus, alerts pop through. So yes, we'll explain how the Live Safe app works. It is something that is free, and that is something that you can also communicate with, like a group chat type of thing, like a neighborhood watch app that we do here have at Hampton.
And if I could,
So, in McGrew, how the resident assistant and, is there a resident assistant and, someone above them as well in that building?
yes, so if I,
24/7?
yes, ma'am, so if I can interject, so I'm not saying nobody's gonna get hurt, but you know, of course,
No, yeah.
our
you gotta-
students, you know, we do that. So if something was to happen in the residence hall, if like a RA finds a student maybe hurt or something, they will alert the residence hall director, the resident, and you know, if EMT is needed, they will follow the protocol to contact EMT. And from there, the resident hall director will contact me as a director of residence life and housing, and to let me know, and I alert then the vice president, but also the resident hall director is responsible for contacting the parent. So to let the parent know, for example, your child fell and hurt himself, he or she is on their way to Centera Hospital. So that way you are notified so that you know that your child, you know, has whatever. So
And the
that is,
director, okay, does the director live on that property?
yes, we have all of our directors are live-in. Our directors, our graduate assistants, and our RAs, they live in the residence halls with the student.
Absolutely, and is Hampton a dry campus?
Yes.
All right, thank you so very much.
You're welcome. All right, we are gonna take about 3 more questions so that we can wrap up.
Kim, Valerie, Lily.
I'll say her name wrong. Kim.
Right here. I heard it.
What's your last name for us?
Verley.
Burley, okay. Welcome. How can
Thank
we help?
you. First off, thank you so much for doing stuff like this. It's very helpful in parents that are far away and we have no way to know what's going on. So thank you. But my daughter has had a time and a half trying to get a student ID. And I want to know that, is that okay? Can she wait till she gets to campus, or will there be an issue on move-in day if she doesn't already have her student ID?
It will not be an issue. However, please come back at 7 p.m. Chief Glover owns the Hampton University ID process. It's literally 3 clicks on their iPhone or Android. And then on move-in day, they will receive their ID in their residence hall. So it is a simple fix.
It's not simple. The link does not work. I've called 5 different people. They have not been able to help me. It's not even, we don't even get to the point of being able to upload a picture. The whole link does not work, period.
So that's what we may need to check, because I am aware that there was a glitch of some sort. And so a new email was sent out to the student directly. But Chief Glover is the owner of this process. So if you can log back in at 7, that question will be directed towards him. And we'll walk you through it. But I know that we did have some issues with this new process that they implemented this summer. But yeah, he is the owner of the process. So if we could just log back in at 7, and we'll make sure that, you know, you are handled, because we don't want you to have to wait to that either once you arrive.
Okay, I'll be on. Thank you.
Thank you. One.
Navita.
All right,
Natavia.
Navadia.
Natavia. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. All right, how can we help?
Good evening. Thank you so much. Question, do all the dorms have cable? If so, how many channels?
So all residence halls do have cable, and it's a cable charge on the student's account. Now, how many channels? I unfortunately do not know that answer.
That's a good amount. Well, I have cable in my office, so I have like the ESPN, the BTs, the MTVs. I have at least 52 channels.
Okay.
It's a good number. It's no premium channel.
Thank you.
It does cover a basic level package. Donna's iPhone, or Donna?
Yes, hello, good evening. I'm calling to ask about James Hall and Suites. My grandson is going to be on the 4th floor. It's my understanding it's only the first 2 floors that have been renovated.
So no renovations have taken place in James Hall this summer.
No, not this summer, but I mean previously. They did them in 2017, I think.
The whole building has been renovated. All James Hall is James Hall Suite, so they have, they share a bathroom. Some rooms do not share a bathroom with anybody. So if anybody chose that room, they got a little lucky. But most of the rooms share a bathroom. They're Jack and Jill suite style.
Oh, okay. So that's everywhere. Okay. All right. So
in James Hall, not everywhere, just in the building.
No, I mean in that building. Because I was thinking that I had chosen the wrong room or whatever to get the bathroom and whatever. So all of them are suites.
Yes, ma'am.
Now they don't have a common area other than the bathroom, though.
When you say
with the 4 people,
they have a lobby, have a study room. I think they have kind of like a little lounge area
outside of their rooms, or
like a like where they can kind of like maybe sit and eat.
Okay, all right. So that would be with that quad, that 4, or is it with the whole floor? Or I just really haven't seen the room, so it's hard to say. And I'm sure you don't know whether it's a corner room or.
Yeah. So you walk into a room, you have a room, and then in the middle is the bathroom that they share, but that's the only time that they may interact with their suite mate.
Okay, so it's just that.
Yes,
they don't have like the little sitting area.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. That was my question.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, Ms. James, for this evening. I hope this has been beneficial. Due to the sake of time, we're going to start to transition into our next segment. Just some key points here. Family Weekend is taking place Friday, September 29th through October 1st. We welcome everyone to come back on that weekend. That is a weekend where parents can fellowship with one another, enjoy the campus, enjoy your student. Registration for Family Weekend will be up by next Friday on the university website. But once again, Family Weekend is Friday, September 29th through October 1st, and we'll close out on October 1st with opening convocation presided by President Williams and First Lady Williams. So thank you again. If anybody wishes to utilize these videos later, if you logged in late, they will be found on our YouTube channel of HU Student Affairs within the next 24 to 48 hours. Anybody that missed yesterday's videos, those will be uploaded first thing in the morning by 9 a.m. Eastern time. But once again, thank you all so much. We look forward to the future Hamptonians and the parents coming down to your home by the sea and participating in the #1 student experience in America. But once again, thank you all, and please join us at 7 p.m. as we talk to Chief Glover with HUPD. Have a great evening. This is part 2. I am Calvin Harris, Interim Director of Student Activities here at Hampton University. And tonight we have the pleasure of being joined by Chief David Glover, the head of our Hampton University Police Department. So he's going to give his presentation this evening. And so all of the great questions later on, we're going to take a few questions after his presentation about IDs, the Live Safe app, and other little information pertaining to Hampton University as far as safety is concerned. So welcome, Chief Glover.
Thank you.
All right. So
And
go ahead.
Okay. And I'd like to welcome you all virtually to our home by the sea. Now, my core mission is keeping the community safe. That's what we're all about, whatever it takes to make it an experience that is memorable for the next 4 years or 5 years, however long students are going to be here, so that you can look back fondly on the memories and the relationships that you develop. So safety is what we're all about. Now, I'll go into a little more detail when we get into the slide presentation.
All right. All right, Mr. Bell, you ready to go ahead and share the presentation?
Okay. as I mentioned, that, our core mission is keeping this place safe. Now, you'll hear a lot of times folks refer to us as our home by the sea. We are geographically surrounded on water, or surrounded by water on 3 sides. So that makes us, unlike some schools you may have visited, we are not a pass-through point where individuals can come through looking for targets of opportunity, things to steal, people to kidnap, that kind of thing. Those things just don't happen here. And so it's kind of one way in and one way out. If you are here, it's because you belong here. And so that helps keep our safety posture in a good place, relatively speaking. Next slide. Now, one of the fundamental things that I like to preach is if you see something, say something. Report suspicious activity. It's very helpful. Again, I said there's one way in, one way out. If you see somebody that looks like they shouldn't be here, tell us, and then we can take it from there. Now, there are several ways that we keep this safety posture in a good place. Next slide, please. One way, we have call boxes spread out throughout the campus. So if you need to, and you don't have your cell phone handy, and you need to get to us, all you have to do is get to one of these call boxes. Next slide, please. Now, we have several apps that we use to keep us safe. One is Live Safe, and that's like a call box in your pocket. It's on your phone. You can tell us just about anything. You can record videos, you can record audio, you can do still shots, or you can simply text us. Now, this comes into my dispatch center real time. It's not like dialing 911, but it's very helpful if you need to let us know something that might be as simple as my roof is leaking. Then we can get that to the right place to get it fixed. Or if you see some suspicious folks, but they're gone, you can still let us know that. I review what comes in every day, every morning when I wake up. So that's a good thing to use. You can go ahead and download it on your phones now after this briefing. And all you do is follow the prompts and then look for Hampton University, and then it will tie you into our system. Next slide, please. Another platform we have is Awarity Tips. That's kind of like Live Safe, but it's more robust. It allows you to give us even more information. That can be bookmarked on your phone, or if you're on the university website, anywhere you see a butterfly, all you have to do is click on it and it will take you into the program. And if you have something you need to let us know, there will be a series of drop-down menus that ask you all the right questions, so you really won't leave anything out. Now, on both of these platforms, you can do it anonymously, or you can tell us who you are. We don't care how we get the information, as long as it's good information, it's useful, and it helps us keep the community safe. Next slide, please. Pirate notification system. This is the way that we are going to let you know something real quickly. If there's a hurricane or a tornado or an active shooter, this is the mechanism we will use to get to you quickly. Now, it's really important that you go beyond the basic information, which is simply your university email. You can tell us, or you can let us know what your cell phone number is, or what your personal email is, whatever node you know you're going to be looking at if we need to get to you quickly. And so it's very helpful because everybody doesn't sit behind a computer, but everybody has their cell phone. And so this is very helpful. Your university email address is going to be top loaded by the computer center, but you have to go through the process when you get the letter asking you to complete the process. And then that will enable us to tell you what you need to hear, when you need to hear it. And the email that you get, the letter that you get, will look essentially like this. And it's not spam or anything like that. It's legit. When you get it, please take it and close the loop. and get registered in pirate notification system. Next slide, please. Now, when school is in session, when you get here, you'll find that it can be pretty congested with people, cars, and we don't want anyone to get hurt. If you come from a major metropolitan area, you're probably used to traffic. You look both ways, you don't get hit by cars. If you're not, sometimes people have a tendency to walk down the street, walk down the middle of the street, looking at cell phones, not paying attention. So far, since I've been here, we haven't had anybody get hit. And so I just like to reiterate this. So when you do get here and you're excited about being here, you're going to class, you're meeting friends, remember that the streets are shared with motor vehicles. Even if you are correct and you are crossing a street and you're in the right, if you get hit by a car, you're going to lose, even though you may be technically right. So it's very important to pay attention to that, especially when everybody gets here. Next slide, please. Now, my fire marshal asked me to make sure I mention this. In every dorm, we have sensors, smoke detectors, that kind of thing. When you're doing your hair, it has a tendency to set the alarms off. When the alarms go off, you got to evacuate the building. And this goes for males and females. It doesn't go for me because I don't have hair. But if I did, I might use a curling iron. But anyway, if you can use it in the restroom, that's the best place to do it. We like to preach that. It still happens a lot. Sometimes folks forget or you're rushing or whatever. But when the fire alarm activates, you got to get out of the building and be kind to your friends and be kind to your dorm mates. If you're doing your hair at 2 o'clock in the morning, the fire alarm is not what they want to hear, even though you may be awake. So please take heed to that. Next slide, please. Now, this is, I'm sure, the question of the day that a lot of folks will have questions on: ID cards. We have caught up with the 21st century, if you will. And rather than stand in a line in the traffic office waiting to have your photo taken, we've got the capability of allowing you to upload your photos online so that when you get here, your ID card will be ready to hand to you. The ID cards are important because that's how you eat, that's how you wash clothes, that's how you get into the dorms. The ID cards are your identity. So we want to do the best we can to make sure every student, when they arrive and hit the ground, gets handed an ID card. Next slide, please. Now, everyone should have received in their university email an email with this header. Forgive me for the slightly fuzzy script. I had to stretch it out, but you should have an email, if you haven't gotten one yet, in your university email that says important reminder, Hampton University photo ID needed immediately. When you see that, open it up. When you open it up and you click on the link, it will take you to yet another page. Next slide, please. Now, what you will see is a description of how you get the photo done. If you see the little images at the bottom, that's how it needs to be framed. We need to get a shot of your head and shoulders. What happens on the back end of the system, if you are too close or you are too far away, it will crop the photo, or it will not allow the photo to be loaded into the system for us to produce an ID card. And so, and also, I'll be able to email you this entire slide deck, so you don't need to worry about copying this down or trying to read what's on the screen if you can't see it. But it tells you exactly how to frame it. It's kind of like a passport photo. That's all you need to do. Preferably have someone take the photo for you. Don't do a selfie. It doesn't always work out that well. Next slide, please. One thing that we've discovered is that if the image that comes in is not a JPEG or a PNG file, it may not work, okay? So make sure that it's one of those two types of files. And then it should load in the system. If it doesn't, we have workarounds for that. If your photo upload doesn't seem to be working, okay, no matter how many times you try it, one thing you might want to make sure that you do is make sure, say you're trying to upload it on your cell phone. You've already taken the picture, you've got it. You're riding down the highway, you're trying to upload it. If you do not have enough of the bars, enough of the power, it won't work. You need to get in an area where you have a very good signal. Okay, so that's one tip. And then again, make sure it's a JPEG or a PNG file. Those work the best. Next slide, please. Now, to kind of summarize the earlier part in terms of the safety posture that we have here on campus. It's based largely on you. You, the community, are our partners. I do my part, community, you do your part. We work together to keep everybody as safe as possible. Outside of our 318 acres, we have the Hampton Police Division. That's the city police department. If we ever have an incident where we need even more backup, the Hampton Police Division is our backup, in addition to other agencies like the state police, the FBI, and so forth. And then we have this thing called the Virginia Fusion Center. That's where all of the agencies around the state, they listen and take in information. If there's ever any inkling of a threat to Hampton University, we get notified. And then we're ready to ramp up to do whatever we need to do to keep you safe. Next slide, please. Now, the big thing, you see the university police email address. Make sure you get that so that after this brief, if you have any questions that I wasn't able to answer, shoot us an email. I see it every day. I live by email, okay? I will look at it and get back to you with an answer pretty quickly, usually within a day or two. So at this point in time, I would like to entertain any questions you might have about anything I may have said or anything I didn't say. All right.
Thank you so much for that. Yes, so now is the time that we will be able to ask Chief Glover some questions. I do know that you have another obligation, so after this, but if you don't mind,
sure.
A few questions. One of the questions did come from I believe it was Miss Lucy from our last call. I'm gonna let her go first because she did have an ID question.
Okay.
I believe it was her. But Miss Lucy, are you there with us?
Hi.
Hey.
Yes.
Hold on one second. You're a little
no, I didn't have.
Hello, say something.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Okay, much better. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry. I did not have the ID question. Our ID link worked perfectly.
Okay.
But I know some parents are
It was
having ID
actually
links.
me. It was Kim Verley.
Oh, Kim.
Okay.
All right, Miss Lucy, let Miss Kim go first, and then after Miss Kim, Miss Lucy, if you don't mind going, and then we'll go down the list, okay?
That's fine. Thank you.
Apologize. Miss Kim, if you could go ahead with your situation.
Sure, and thank you very much. So for the last month or so, my daughter has received the email for the ID, but whenever we click on the link, it just spins. We never get to the point where it says, click here to upload a photo. It actually brings up a page, and I just tried it again, and it says, we're having trouble communicating with the server. Please try again in a moment. This has been over a month of that. I've tried calling several times and I still haven't gotten through. So I don't know how to rectify that. And I want to know if I can't rectify that before move-in day, will my daughter have any issues moving in?
Well, number one, we should be able to rectify it. my portion is the easy part, the traffic section. Once the photo is in the system and it gets into this platform called Linnell, that's our security system, then we're able to crank out the ID card. Now, one thing we can do as a workaround right now, number one, you have the University Police email. Send me an email. You can upload or you can send me an image that's either a JPEG or a PNG, okay? And
Okay.
then a personal email address for your student. And then we may be able to massage that. And when I say we, it's the IT folks on the back end, okay?
Okay.
And be able to produce an ID. That has worked for people who try to upload and it just doesn't work. When all else fails, if we can get an image, okay, and a personal email somehow on the back end, that makes some kind of difference, okay? And it's worked for everyone that certainly that I've had a conversation with about this. So please send me an email with the images and a personal email for your daughter. All right.
Thank you so much, Chief. I will do that. And last question, she wears glasses all day, every day. No glasses in the picture, correct?
Well, we prefer no glasses, but you can do this. Take a photo with and without. 'Cause
Okay.
one thing that the system does is it focuses on the eyes. So for instance, if someone has too much mascara or glasses that keep it from doing that, it won't accept the photo. So send one of each type, okay? And then we can work around it that way.
Okay.
In the email, does she need to include her student's name and HUID?
Yes, thank you.
I think I'm a professional at that part. You're gonna get it all.
Put it out there.
Thank you so much for your help.
You're
Okay.
welcome. All right, Miss Lucy, you can go.
Okay, yes. I'm hoping Chief can answer, but I meant to ask this during housing. I'm not sure if she's still on. Can you discuss in the parent chat, there was a lot of chatter regarding room searches and curfews and room checks and so forth. I don't know if you have any involvement with that. And I guess I'm asking, what are they checking for and how frequently they are? And can you talk about the curfew and that sort of thing?
The curfew is set by residence life. I don't have anything to do with that. I just take the information, whatever the curfew is, we know what it is, and then we react accordingly. Health, safety and welfare checks, those are done by residence life. Our part is if something like marijuana or whatever is found in a room, then all we do is test the substance. And then we provide that information to residence life. We don't initiate the health, safety and welfare inspections. We just get told when they're gonna happen. And the criteria, the frequency, that's set by residence life.
The information for curfew is found on our university website. If you look at the student handbook, it is electronic. It does have a page up there. I did just text Ms. James. She has left the building. So hopefully if she responds before we end, I'll read her statement about curfew, but it is found in the student handbook that is on our university webpage. I think that's who we had just talked to. Right, Kim was the.
Thank you.
Miss Kim, are you? Yeah, we had just talked to her. Kim was the first person with the ID. Okay, Kim's iPhone. Yeah, no. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I think I'll put up. Connie.
My question was answered. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jada Donaldson.
Jada Donaldson.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, awesome. I have a couple of questions. I think, so I had one question regarding the ID photos. So because I did not send in an ID photo by June 15th, will this affect the move-in process at all? I think you already answered this, but I just want to check again.
Oh, yeah, it's never too late. You get us the
Okay.
information, we will get you the ID because we want you here.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, and then I believe I asked in the chat for Miss James's email. I think I missed it when you said it the first time.
Okay, Miss Bella is going to type it in the chat again.
All right. Thank you.
Miracle Grove.
Miracle.
Hello.
Hello.
I asked this question at the 6 p.m., but I was told it would be addressed at 7 p.m. So my question was about parking and unloading on move-in day. What is the process for parking, and where should families plan to park their vehicles and U-Hauls to make the unloading process the most feasible?
Yes, you will park near the residence hall that you are unloading in. There's a scheme, well, I don't say a scheme, there's a plan for that. I believe everybody has arrival times, so that there is enough parking for folks to get into the dorms versus everybody showing up at the same time. Okay, I will say that again, 318 acres, parking is a premium, but we do a pretty good job accommodating everyone. Now, if you have an oversized vehicle or a trailer, it's helpful to know ahead of time, if we can. Feel free to send University Police an email if you have a very large vehicle, so we can accommodate that. But we do take anything that comes, but preferably the don't come with an 18-wheeler, and we'll be able to get you in. And we will also, we usually come up with a map and a diagram that you will get ahead of time before you get here, giving you the directions. And we have signs that will point you to the right place when you get here.
Thank you.
All right, and Ms. James did respond. The curfew times are Sunday through Thursday, 11 p.m. and on Friday and Saturday, 1 a.m. So those are the curfew times. There is a review period that takes place in the October month where curfew could be lifted based off of the decision of the Dean of Students and Administration. But those are the curfew times. So curfew is Sunday through Thursday, 11 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 1 a.m. All right. Trinity Wilson, welcome.
Oh, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
So I was seeing everybody talk about ID links. I never got one. My Hampton email doesn't really show me emails all the time. I learned about it from my mom, so I don't really know what to do about that one.
So you're saying you haven't gotten a photo ID email?
No.
Okay, but you do have a university email address.
Yes, I do.
Okay, have you gotten any other emails on that address?
Besides the information fair and the HU news, I don't really think so.
Okay, do this. Send me an email at the university police address, okay? Add a personal email that you get that, works for everything. And then we will energize the process to see if you can upload a photo, okay? Now, you can also send me a photo, okay? PNG or JPEG, in case we're not able to get the portal to work the way that that it's designed.
Okay.
And if you do it tonight, I'll see it tonight, and I will get it to the IT side of the house to figure out what that issue is with you not getting other emails that might be going out there. All right.
Okay, thank you.
And that university email address is university.police@hamptonu.edu. Mrs. Bell is gonna put that in the chat again so that you can see it, but it's university.police@hamptonu.edu. All right, it looks like we have 3 more questions. It just says Felicia.
Oh, okay. Hi, how are you? I kind of got here a little late. So I wanted to ask if you guys haven't talked about it, the not taser, what's the pepper spray stuff. My daughter was at pre-college and she had one because I thought she could have one. I do now know that she does not. They did have not a raid, but whatever. They had a little check. So they found it and she got reprimanded for it. And I understand that we don't have to have it anymore, that we can't have it, but it was a little, when we were reading it, I as just in layman's terms, I didn't really understand it. I didn't realize that was considered a liquid, some type of a device. You know, I thought it was okay because we were able to send it on the airplane. So I just,
pepper spray.
Pepper spray. Mm-hmm. So you guys have it. Somebody has it. She never got it back. She didn't. I don't know who they. Yeah.
Where was it confiscated? Was it in the dorm?
Yeah, it was in her dorm. It was in her dorm because she thought she could have it. But now I know the rules that you cannot. It's a Hampton rule. None of that stuff. But it wasn't quite clear to me. You know, it didn't say no pepper spray, no taser. You know, it just said. I forgot the wording, the verbiage, but so I just didn't know if you guys talked about that because a lot of parents thought that as far as the girls go, they were going to send pepper spray, but it's a no-no.
Because in terms of, you know, personal protection, and then I'll look at whatever document that was in that language. Because if it's out of the student handbook or something else that you got, I'd like to see that. Understand the need if someone's downtown, it's a personal protection kind of thing. One thing I know that, you know, when we have dances and that kind of thing around here, if you bring it to a dance, you don't get to bring it in. Okay. But if you have it and you are going downtown or whatever, that's a slightly different issue, but we'll sort that out internally. Okay. Because, you know, I don't, number one, want to make sure we're all clear on it. And number two, going back to safety, you want to make sure, you know, if you're going downtown or you're going to Norfolk or Virginia Beach, I want you to be safe.
Right, that was, yeah. So anyway, but she doesn't have hers. They have it. I forgot where. And I talked to, I don't know, there's so many names, but she got a little letter of reprimand and all that stuff. But he explained that too, like it's not gonna follow her or anything like that. It's just, you know. But I just wanted to understand and help other parents because I don't want them to think, oh, it's okay, and clearly it's not. So okay, but you'll get something together.
If you would please send me an email so I can give you some feedback as well.
Okay, all right, we'll do. Thank you.
Okay,
thank you so much. Dr. Savellas or Sevils?
Sevels, like bells. And thank you for having these information webinars. I appreciate it. And Chief, I really appreciate, I love, I'm a visual learner, so I love the slideshow. But my question, unfortunately, Chief, you may not be able to answer, and I'm hoping that I'm not taking precious time from safety issues, but I want to drop my daughter off on Friday and I want to get back on the road. I'm hearing that we have some workshops or there are programs that parents have to go to. I think I'm getting them mixed up with Parents Weekend that is in September. If you want to hold off on this question to answer some more safety issue questions, I don't mind, but I just need some clarity on what parents are supposed to do Friday when we drop off. Do I have to stay until Saturday to go to another informational session, or what is the, I just need it for my logistical purposes. Thank you.
Yes, Chief Glover, I'll be able to answer that. Yes, ma'am. You are talking two different things. On yesterday evening, Ms. Jeree White, the Director of Freshman Studies, she did mention the parent orientation sessions being held at 2 and 4 p.m. in either Ogden or the ballroom. Those sessions are totally optional, is not mandatory. Unfortunately, that information is not held virtually or posted online afterwards. Family weekend is something totally different. It's like a homecoming for parents, I'll say, where it's a bunch of cookouts and fellowship, jazz receptions and stuff like that for you to come back and enjoy your time on Hampton's campus with your student and your family and friends that come. We just welcome you back for our family weekend. So that's two totally different things. What I would ask, if you would like more information about the parent orientations being held on that Saturday, if you cannot make it, please send Ms. White an email. Her email address is JERE.White, WHITE, at hamptonu.edu, and she will be able to share the information about those parent sessions, but they are not mandatory. It is just an option for parents to attend on that Saturday. And Ms. Bell just put her email address in the chat. But family weekend and orientation for move-in weekend is two different events.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Angela Cross. Angela Cross.
Miss Angela Cross.
Yes, hi. So there's no place on campus where you guys can just take the pictures, the student IDs?
Well,
are we doing the mobile?
Well, we're doing we're using the portal to do the IDs, but we do have a place in my traffic office where photos can be taken.
So are we gonna do the residence hall again? That might be an option.
Yeah.
All right, so out of all of the residence halls on move-in day, there is a backdrop with the same directions that Chief Glover explained, where you could do it on site. You won't get the ID that same day. It might take a few days for the ID to be delivered to the residence hall. But yes, ma'am, once you get here, if you have not done it in advance, we are encouraging you to do it in advance. But if not, students will be able to, inside of the lobby of the residence hall, they'll see a white backdrop with the directions. They still would need to use their phone and have the email in their Hampton University email to upload. But yes, you can still do it here on site.
Okay, so still gotta try this link. Okay, because I've uploaded it a couple of times and it keeps getting denied. So I thought maybe it was a easier process once on campus, but okay.
Were you on the session when I explained to some other parents and students?
To email you and the picture and all of that, yeah.
Please do that. And we may be able to knock it out before you get here.
So it's basically correct. I'm listening to what she said. She said that the picture keeps getting denied. When they receive the denial, does it tell them why that picture got denied? Whether it might be too close or the glare or anything? Do they get a reason as to why their photo was denied?
No, it's a generic. I feel like it's a generic. I haven't tried it in a while, but I feel like it's just a generic response. Your photo wasn't accepted.
All right. So yes, so that Chief Glover can help expedite this, so you can get it done in advance. Please send him an email with the image to university.police@hamptonu.edu and include your student's name and HUID number, and let him work with you on the back end.
And a personal email.
And a personal email address.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Amia.
Hi, so I have some questions that I want to piggyback off of Felicia. So pertaining to the personal protections, what are we allowed to bring? Because as I've heard, I guess the pepper spray, and I wasn't aware of this, is not allowed for us to have for personal protection. So what are we allowed to have on campus? What are we not allowed to have? Just kind of go through that I guess the protocol or what we are able to bring, just to make sure that we are okay.
Okay, well, that information is contained in the student handbook, which you'll be getting in August, I believe. The pepper spray piece, I will have an internal conversation going back to what I said about, if you're going downtown, and those kinds of things that, a citizen would have for personal protection. Not sure that that is something that, ultimately you're not going to be able to have. Okay. So I'll get you some clarity on that. Now, other things like, knives, tasers, that kind of thing. No, you're not supposed to have that.
Okay, thank you. I will be looking out for the, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Students do enter all of my parties and events and stuff. We are checked via security, so those things are confiscated from you. So no, we can't have them on campus at our events.
Okay, great. I just want to make sure that no reprimanding or not knowing what's going on. So yeah, I definitely will look out for your email about the pepper spray. Thank you.
All right.
Navia Alvin.
Alfian. Good
sorry.
evening, Chief. Oh, no problem. Just to piggyback off Ms. Fair, question regarding the pepper spray, and then our next young lady. Just can you guys kindly send out a campus-wide email regarding the clarification, so whether or not the pepper spray is approved or not, definitely for off-campus purposes only, and then to reflect if there is a dorm check that student will not be reprimanded in any way.
Yes, I did just make a note for Ms. James to contact Ms. James in the morning in reference to this, adding this information to her communique.
Okay.
As far as the procedures in residence halls, or check and see if there's a way that we can highlight that information, as well as the pepper spray language, the protection items that we can have and not have. So I'm pretty sure
Right.
the chief level will work with Ms. James, but yes, I did make a note to get this to her.
And then I had another question real quick. So do you know, as far as like attending some of your larger games, football games that are away, are students allowed to carry, like, do they need clear bags or anything like that in some of the larger stadiums?
Okay, so yes, that is my department. We do have 2 games coming up where we will be traveling to New Jersey, where Hampton will play Grambling State at the Rock City Fest, and then we are going to DC in September 16th for the annual HUHU. Those 2 football stadiums do not have any restrictions. The only restriction that they did have were like pocketbooks, like Telfars that were like real big totes. Not to have, they wanted more concise, but they do not have any restrictions as to what the pocketbooks or bags will look like.
Thank you.
All right. Our last question comes from Michelle. Miss Michelle, are you there?
Sorry, yes, I'm here.
Okay, welcome. What's your question?
I joined the call kind of late, so this question may have already been asked and answered. But my question is, if a student on campus dials 911, is that routed directly to the campus police, or is that to like the Hampton police, like the city of Hampton? Like, how is the routing done, and how quickly are you guys responding? Like, how does that part work?
Okay, a 911 call will go to the city of Hampton. Their dispatchers turn right around and they call us and they say, we've got a 911 call from your university. Provided that in that 911 call, the information is there so that the dispatcher on the other end knows it's Hampton University. I believe that some of these systems do that, but we get the calls real quick.
Okay.
And on campus, we're usually there within 3 minutes, depending on, what the issue is.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Oh, the other thing, if a student is on campus, our emergency line is 5666. But 911 is probably the quickest way to do it because you don't have to dial as many digits. And I know in the Commonwealth, and I don't know, it might be nationwide now, you can't just dial the phone number without putting the area code in. And that gets cumbersome. And so I would say that in a pinch, 911 will do it because we're going to get the call.
Okay, okay, thank you for that.
All right, thank you so much. Well, Chief Glover, it seems like we've come to the end of the questions. Thank you so much for this
Certainly.
information. So we do have a couple of takeaways. We got to get some communicators out there and then assist with all these ID situations so that the transition to Hampton University will be much smoother come August 18th.
Absolutely.
All right. So everyone, thank you so much for joining. If you did log in late and miss any of the portion of this call, the video for this recording will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, HU Student Affairs, within the next 24 to 48 hours. If you missed our sessions on yesterday, those will be uploaded in the morning, Eastern Standard Time by 9 a.m. For your review. Please join us tomorrow at 6 p.m., same link for Ms. Tiffany Cornelius, the Director of Testing Services, Compliance and Disability Services, alongside Dr. Christy Norwood. She is the Director of Student Counseling Center. And then at 7 p.m., we will talk to Dean Alexander Whitfield of Judicial Affairs. So those persons, if you do have questions of reference to any type of reprimand, code of conduct issues, those type of things on our campus, Dean Alexander Whitfield will be the man to talk to. All right, once again, thank you all so much for joining us. We look forward to your return to your home by the sea on August 18th, and congratulations on being our newest Hamptonians. Have a great evening, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Go Pirates.
Go Pirates. Okay,